Welcome to IPL 5 Metropolis.
Metropolis, ladies and gentlemen, the shopping capital of the Terran Empire. And here we have this guy. He is spawning to the west here on Metropolis in the red trunks, playing Zerg. And he's one game away from being kicked out of this tournament. Let's see if he can rally back. His name is
Azubu Violet.
Looking confident, but a little shaken, I have to say, because his opponent is a monster in this matchup, in all matchups. Spawning to the north in the blue trunks, also playing Zerg, one map away from taking yet another major tournament win. He is
FXO Leenock.
Finally, your day has come, Hornmaster.
Talking about consistency, that Horn man, he's been pretty good this weekend.
He's been here like the entire time. It's pretty impressive.
See, he's still here, and he probably won't go.
Nope, he's just actually not going to leave. The whole tournament's going to be over. He's still going to be sitting there just blowing the horn for no reason while everyone's tearing down the stage.
Gone packing up, and the Horn guy's still here.
Well, yeah, someone's got to encourage the Gone crew to pack up quicker.
All right, so back on consistency again. Did you know that Leenock has played in every GSL since the start? I think the GSL, the Open, the very first one, he didn't actually even try to get in. But since then, every single one.
It's impressive, really, isn't it? And one of the toughest tournaments in the world, as is, of course, IPL 5. And it's just incredible to see Leenock consistently traveling out to these tournaments and just placing really highly and winning the vast majority of them. And that takes a huge amount of stamina, as well as a great deal of skill. The way that GSL works is interesting in comparison to a lot of these Western events, because you have a huge amount of preparation time. You know who your opponent is in advance. And yet, in a tournament like this, you've got to be prepared for absolutely everything, and you must have the endurance to be able to survive a 3 or even 4-day event.
That's really true. I mean, there's two different styles. You're either good at tournaments or you're good in specific training leagues. And to see that Leenock does well in both, that just emphasizes how good of a player he actually is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're seeing some fairly standard openings from both here, slightly earlier speed, actually for Violet, which would be the first time in this series. But I'm intrigued to see who decides to get aggressive. He's still in gas here.
This map is a lot more difficult to be aggressive with. So we're still going to see, we could even, I think, we're going to zip forward quite fast towards the third base attack again. We may see the carapace come down. Is that Horn Man?
No,
he's not Horn Man.
That is not Horn Man. You can tell by the lack of horn. Can we just hire you for every tournament?
Reply yes with one horn.
All right, so Violet's actually made an interesting decision here, I feel. And we discussed this, I think, 2 days ago, on the notion of walling off for Zerg. And some players really are okay with putting important tech structures right at the front, whereas other players not so much. Leenock doesn't seem to do that. He puts his Baneling Nest all the way at the back. In this case, Violet, for the first time in this series, has put his Baneling Nest at the front with a Spine Crawler directly behind. Yeah,
so the Spine Crawler, obviously helps the defense of the Spine Crawler. If you think about it, you can't get the full surround.
No.
In a weird way, it has more hit points because it doesn't die as fast. So it's a good position to have it in. On the other side, when you hide the Baneling Nest, you could trigger your opponent into doing something if he doesn't see it at the front with his first initial link. So there's kind of two ways in which you want to do it. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. As we do see Leenock getting a Spine Crawler down, but both players going straight towards layer. And these links are going to get in here, and he's going to see the layer, he's going to see the gases taken. One thing that he will see is the lack of evolution chamber for the +1 carapace. So Leenock's playing a little bit different in this game, and most likely we could see one of these players go for Mutalisk here. We could see both of them go for it.
Metropolis is a great map for it, honestly, so I definitely don't see why not. I mean, these positions are pretty good for any kind of airplay. And we do see Leenock actually going for just a later Evo chamber. But as you said before, the carapace timing isn't there, which is perhaps the most important thing. Hello.
No scouting info for you.
No, indeed not.
Violet's the one going to play Spire, and Leenock's going to play the Infestors. So One thing to note on this map, if you are going to play Infestors, you really have to creep spread towards your third base because they're very slow. Yep. If they're slow, then the Mutalisks can pick them off. And also you need the Queens to help too, and help with the defense of the Infestors against the Mutalisks. So it's going to be quite important that Leenock focuses on getting creep towards his third.
Well, third coming down right here for Leenock. There's going to start knocking down the rocks. Last thing you want is poor creep spread towards your third and rocks in the way. And that would not suit him very well at all. But as pointed out there, Violet does have a couple of lings in. He's able to spot it. He's now the Overseer just to go over and confirm that there. And now we're going to be seeing this Roach Infestor versus Mutalisk. And the last time we saw it, of course, was Leenock being the Mutalisk aggressor on Ohana, and it honestly failed completely. But the question is, can Violet make it work?
I don't think Leenock has enough links to defend this base.
It might very well
it's
be
going to
right,
fall down here, and that's going to give a nice edge to Violet. He's going to bring it down. He shouldn't lose any more than that, but he can, like we saw earlier today, just keep on denying, keep on denying. He's got a lot of presence. He's going to try and go through here. Is it going to be possible? The Banelings aren't morphed yet.
Oh, wow. And a good smash from the initial Baneling. Two more actually going in there. He needs to get these to connect huge. And, well, they didn't. They ran right into the extractor here. Violet trying to overwhelm the force and makes his way into the main base. And he might very well get a Queen here.
Yeah, he's got the Queen surrounded, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Not too much damage dealt there. It's always very difficult to do, but there are more lings here.
Yep, and there's a fungal growth to actually grab them, so Infestor Tech, needless to say, very much revealed and a lot of energy initially wasted, and this is actually going to be really bad here for Leenock because that's like 2, maybe even 3 fungals used, and just right now, 10 Mutalisks pop out onto the map.
Yeah, I think that was 2 fungals he used there, which aren't going to be used in the defense against the Mutalisks. The third base is still not down for Leenock, so the way that Violet's going to approach these Mutalisks, he probably won't want to get into the main base. It's going to be very difficult to call. If he sees an opportunity, he may take it, but I think his focus is going to be about denying this third. We'll see though. The Infestors have 3 fungals each. There's 3 Queens. There's no creep spread. Oh, he does get fungled, and the other Infestors have to get there now.
Yeah, he needs to get out of there as quickly as he can with those Mutalisks. Doesn't want to get fungled once again and avoids most of the chain. That's a decent catch, but not the best that he would have preferred. Now bringing in more Infestors here. Don't want to bunch up. This could actually be really bad. This is actually ridiculously good here for Violet. 19 drones, 20 drones killed.
Wow, 20 drones killed, a massive start for Violet with his third base down, saturated, and needs to get into gas very shortly. But I really underestimated the value of those 2 missing force fields that we saw used on the lings. It made a big difference there, which Violet probably wouldn't have even got in if he didn't do that. Yeah,
the fungals really made a huge difference indeed, and Violet playing very well. I don't even know if that was deliberate.
Nidus Worm coming down here. We're going to have a Queen Infestor play.
All right.
So he's basically trying to get in there right before the Mutalisk player switches back to Infestor Roach. Yep. It's already a little bit too late though, as we see the Roaches Infestors coming. So even if Leenock manages to pull it off, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to break it. It's going to be very close. But there is the chosen Overseer. Yep. Oh, and look at that. As we just saw it, Violet clicked with lings. Oh,
his
hello.
spider sense is tingling. He's all over this already, and that is enough to bring down the Nidus Worm because they are made of paper.
Yeah, but Violet basically said, well, you don't have a third base. You're not attempting to take one. There is this kind of all-in I know about, which requires a Nidus Worm, so let me check. And he did.
Second one coming up, it's actually in vision of the buildings here, and this is not going all that well for Leenock. And yes, drones are enough to kill a Nidus Worm. Pretty much a mild breeze is enough to kill a Nidus Worm.
2 times denied here by Leenock. And the Overseer is going to go down, so this is kind of pushed away, and Violet maintains a high lead. Another Nidus Worm is going down, but it's going to get shut off again. Violet just says no, and GG.
That is it.
There was no way Leenock can play from behind in that position. No way. He hasn't got a third. He hasn't got creep. He's so far behind in terms of economy because that third was down for so very long. And Violet, all he needed to do was to start the 2-base all-in.
Absolutely. Yeah, really well played there by Violet. The process of Leenock's loss went as follows. Firstly, the Ling run by killed the third base. Secondly, Lings come into the natural just as Infestors pop, using 2, possibly even 3 fungals.
Yeah.
Also killing drones, I might add. It did some economic damage. And last, by no means least, 10 Mutalisks hit for a total of 20 drones killed, which forces the all-in Nidus play there from Leenock. And Violet, anticipating it perfectly, is able to easily swat it aside.
Yeah, and that was kind of the only thing that Leenock thought was possible to win that game in that scenario. It didn't work, scrap it, go to game 5.
Yeah, Leenock wasn't wrong. Yeah, that was absolutely the only thing he really could have done from that position. It would have required a massive slip-up from Violet in order for Leenock to really get back into that game. And Nidus play can work there, but as we can see, it didn't. And what does that mean, folks? That means we are in a tie situation. We very well could go to the second best of 3. Violet has murder in his eyes. He has the confidence to go forward against his opponent, FXO Leenock. Entombed Valley will be the place where we find out whether or not Leenock walks away as champion or Azubu Violet goes on to the final best of 3.
That is right, the game is loading. Let's do this. Is this going to be the last game of IPL 5, or is Violet going to extend this series?
Let's find out. Violet, Leenock, Entombed Valley,